Hello again. I am fairly certain that all of my articles in 2022 are going to have something to do with the fact that life is difficult. It really just is difficult. It always has been difficult and it always will be difficult. This video supports an article with quite a lot of information in it. So the video is for people like me who have a short attention span. And if you want to find additional information, you can go to the article. So last time I wrote about people who thrive, and people who thrive despite what life throws at them tend to have some very clearly identifiable characteristics. And one of those characteristics is that they take charge of their physical and mental health. And I want to explore what that means. Let's start with physical health. It means that they establish some kind of simple, achievable, regular exercise routine. It means that they make decisions about what they do and don't eat. And those decisions are based on what their body likes because it feels good when they eat those foods, and not on what they find comforting. So they eat a good diet of unprocessed food. The third thing that they do is they drink plenty of water. They quit smoking and vaping. You know it's not good for you. You can rationalize it any way you like. It's just not good for you. And they get good quality sleep. They know that gaming until the wee hours and then trying to play catch up is a max game. And so they have certain boundaries for themselves around how to get some good quality sleep. So if you have become aware, or you've been aware for some time, that you haven't been taking care of your physical health, I would recommend that you start simply, that you create a doable routine. Don't over-engineer it. If you over-engineer it, it's not going to last. Don't make it too difficult in terms of levels of strenuousness, because then you will end up sore and you won't continue, and that's also a losing strategy. You will indulge from time to time. You will fall off the wagon from time to time. It's fine. Get back on the wagon. Don't spend time beating yourself up. Just get back on. So that's the physical health side of things. The second thing that they take charge of is their mental health. And they recognize that they have a huge responsibility for their own mental health. So the first thing, they are kind to themselves. They don't waste their time and their energy with endless self-criticism and with beating themselves up over things they've done wrong, perceived failures, not being good enough, you name it. And if you have a tendency to beat yourself up, then I recommend that you follow the link in my article and watch Bob Newhart's solution to this problem. So that's the first thing, is they're kind to themselves. The second is that they include hobbies and interests amongst the important things in their lives. They're not finding time for it. They're not fitting it in. They're not making time for it. They're including it in all of the important things that make up their lives. Perhaps they love gardening. Perhaps they paint. Maybe they do crosswords. Maybe they restore old cars. Whatever it is, they see those hobbies and interests as one of the priorities in their lives. The third thing is they have good relationships with good people. They cultivate those relationships. They recognize that we are social beings. And so if they find themselves in a new town or an unfamiliar environment, they make an effort to connect with people. And if you are lonely, then it is your responsibility to make an effort to find like-minded people. When we're older, we tend to build our relationships through our activities. So what activities can you pursue in some kind of local club, whether it's a walking club, a hiking club, a gardening club, a book club? We know it's not about what books, but nevertheless, finding groups of people where you can pursue interests and then form relationships. Another thing that people who thrive do is they give of themselves, they volunteer. And it's an amazing tool because it takes your attention off yourself. It means that you are making a contribution to others. And of course, you meet people and you make friends. People who thrive deal with their stress. They understand that this too shall pass. They understand that there is nothing that is in and of itself stressful, but that it's our thinking about it that makes it stressful. So if you find yourself tormenting yourself with what if questions, answer the question, what if you lose your job? Well then, what if you lose your job? What will you do? Will you look for another job? Will you take a break? Will you start a business? Will you volunteer? Answer the question. And if you find yourself ruminating over things that went wrong, things that are in the past, things that turned out fine, again, go and look at Bob Newhart. He'll tell you how to fix it. Learn to quiet your mind. Whether it is mindfulness breathing or some other kind of meditative technique, perhaps it is thought interruption that you learn how to do because you know that you have these unhelpful thoughts that go round and round in your head. But learn to quiet your mind. It is a skill. It can be learned. And the last point about people who thrive is when they have difficulties that they don't feel equal to dealing with themselves, they get help. They see a doctor, they see a therapist, they see a guru or a minister or a pastor, whatever it is, they ask for help. So if this is you and you want to take control of your physical and mental health, well, set some goals. What do you want to achieve in terms of your physical health? What do you want to achieve in terms of your mental health? And then having done that, set out a simple, achievable action plan. Again, I will say, don't over-engineer it. Rather, build it incrementally. Then try and create the perfect process from the get-go. Number one, you're not going to create the perfect process. Number two, it's not going to last. It really just isn't going to last. My final point is just start somewhere. There's no perfect place to start. Just start somewhere. And as I said earlier, if you fall off the wagon, and you will, just get back on.